I'll tell you what exactly is the objective of this course, what are the topics that we are going to discuss throughout this course, which will give you the idea of what is the content, what is the duration. Okay, so you'll be getting the idea, and then you can coordinate with Zahir for the registration purpose. So let me introduce myself first of all, and then we'll talk about what exactly is S/4HANA Logistics. So my name is Gaurav, and I'm working on SAP from last 12 years, and over these years I've worked on different roles. I started my career as a consultant, and then I worked as solution architect, I worked as project manager, and from last 2-3 years I'm into SAP S/4HANA offerings, where I'm responsible for building the team of consultants, providing them trainings, and making sure that we are ready for the new projects and we are delivering the existing SAP S/4HANA projects. Okay, this is about me, and talking about this course, what exactly is SAP S/4HANA Logistics? So you must be knowing that SAP came up with the HANA database in 2012. Okay, and there is a lot of demand for the technical consultants on SAP HANA database throughout these years. From last 4 years, you must be knowing that SAP HANA has been a very hot area uh, in terms of the technical consultants. But after SAP HANA, SAP has also redesigned some of the core business processes. So for example, let me tell you first what exactly was the intention of SAP HANA. So we are using SAP from last many years. I think many of you are working with SAP from last many years, and throughout these years we already know that it is a very good product in terms of the functionality it provides, in terms of the integrated processes it provides. But there is definitely the problem or the challenges when we talk about the speed of the system. So many customers were complaining that although all the processes are working fine, but when it comes to speed, there are many reports which are working very slow. And when SAP has given the thought to it, when they try to identify what could be the reason because of the slower reporting, they came to know that the architecture, which means the way in which the data is getting stored in the tables, that is something which is creating the problem. Because whenever you do a single transaction, in the background there are multiple tables which are getting updated. And again, whenever you are doing the reporting, again you need to pick the data from all these different tables. Also, there was a repetition of data. So whenever you are doing the transactions, there are multiple tables which are holding the same kind of data, although not the exactly same data, but yes, most of the data is getting repeated, which is unnecessarily consuming more memory in the database. And it is quite obvious, if you have a mobile device which is having the, let's say, 16 GB of memory, lower the consumption of memory, faster will be your mobile, right? If you are using most of your memory, definitely the mobile will start responding slow. So these were the areas where SAP was concentrating in order to improvise the speed. So they discussed with different third-party vendors, because as we know that till year 2011, SAP doesn't have their own database. They were totally dependent on the third parties like Oracle, Microsoft to provide the database services, right? We were using the database services from these vendors. So SAP checked with these third parties whether how do they think that this could be improvised. but the response they got from all these different vendors was not very convincing, and that was the reason what SAP has thought of coming up with their own database where they can reduce all these kind of challenges. Okay, and that is exactly what SAP HANA. SAP HANA was a database which was designed by SAP by using the latest technologies like in-memory computing, column-based data storage. There are a lot of things we'll discuss in detail, but this is how everything started. Now, this has improvised the speed, the way in which the transactions can be processed, the way in which the reports can be executed was simplified. But as I told you, there was another problem also. The problem of repetition of data. The data was getting repeated at multiple places and it was unnecessarily consuming more resources. And obviously memory means cost, right? So whenever you are using any database and it is consuming more memory, it means you need to incur more expenses in order to make sure that you are not running out of memory. All right. So that is the reason this was only the starting. SAP HANA was only the starting, and SAP was looking after to making sure to simplify the architecture also, so that there should be minimum number of tables which gets updated in the background. There should not be any repetition, okay, which will ultimately save to the company the memory consumption and all will definitely result in lesser cost incurred by the company, and at the same time it will also further improve the speed, because with SAP HANA, as we discussed, in memory computing, column based data storage, it will definitely improve the speed. But if you still go further and you reduce the memory consumption, it will even more you will be able to save more and more memory in that case also, and your processes will become faster. And that is exactly what SAP has done in SAP S for HANA. So SAP S for HANA is what? Is it a database? No. SAP HANA was a database. SAP S for HANA is an application like SAP ECC. So today we use SAP ECC, in which there are a lot of tables which are getting updated in the background. Now SAP came up with a completely new product called as SAP S for HANA, in which there are a lot of tables which are either removed, or there are the tables which are planned to be removed in future. Because when you talk about SAP S/4HANA, it is still not a complete product. You will be getting different kind of versions which are coming on the yearly basis, or if you talk about the cloud, there are different versions coming on the quarterly basis. So you must have heard that the current version of SAP S/4HANA Logistics is 16.10. Okay, and before that SAP came up with a version called as 15.11. So what is happening? Every yearly SAP is introducing a new version with a lot of simplifications. So going forward also, like 17.10, 18.10, we will be able to see many versions which will come, and it will try to simplify more and more processes. So what is available in 16.10? Which of the simplifications are available? So from the core modules point of view, when I talk about the materials management, sales and distribution, production planning, these are some of the things which are already simplified in 16.10 itself. So there are not much of things which are going to be changed from the core modules point of view. But the things like CRM, SRM, APO, EWM, these are the things which are still under development. So in 17.10 we may see that the improvised CRM and SRM, embedded EWM and APO. Okay, so this will continue like this. But if I talk about the core business processes, materials management, sales and distribution, and production planning, these simplifications are already available. And that is exactly what we need to understand in this course. Now, when I say simplifications, it is not only from the database point of view. It is not only how the tables have been changed. In order to make that possible, there are some process improvements also. And as a functional consultant, we are more interested into the process improvements, right? So how SAP has moved from the normal functionality to the functionality on SAP S4, that is something which we need to understand. Okay, so this particular list of topics will give you the complete idea of what exactly is this course all about. So as I told you, we are going to start off with SAP HANA overview. Okay, we are not directly going to touch SAP S4 HANA because we need to understand some of the basics of SAP HANA. This doesn't mean that we are going to enter into the database and going to perform the technical things, not at all. We are just going to understand theoretically what exactly is SAP HANA, what is in-memory computing, what is column-based data storage, what is the calculation engine of SAP HANA. All these things we'll be understanding in first 1 or 2 sessions. Okay, once we are done, once we are comfortable in understanding what is in-memory, what is column-based, what are the benefits of all these things, we'll talk about what exactly is SAP S for HANA. Okay, in which we'll talk about different benefits of SAP S/4HANA compared to traditional ECC system. Like one of the benefit is obviously SAP HANA as a database. Second benefit is SAP Fiori, using which you can perform the transactions in the simpler way. So today if I want to do any transaction, the only option available to me is going on to the traditional screens and performing the transactions. And the screens we are using from years, and as we know, it is not very easy to use, at least from the new user point of view. That is the reason what SAP has came up with a completely new user interface using which you can perform some of the transactions using the simpler screens. Okay, that is called as SAP Fiori. So SAP HANA as a database, SAP Fiori as a front end, and then some of the simplified processes. This is the complete combination of what exactly SAP S/4HANA has to offer. Okay, and then we'll talk about the overview of SAP Activate methodology. As of today, whenever you go for any implementation project, normally we follow SAP methodology. Okay, we are following this SAP methodology from years. But again, there are some restrictions in SAP methodology. There are some deviations in the way how we use SAP methodology, and that is the reason SAP has now came up with a completely new methodology, which is SAP Activate, which follows the principles of Agile as well as Scrum Masters and some of the PMP concepts, which means now SAP has tried to correlate the methodology with the different, what we can say, the software trends which are going on into the market. Okay, so as we know that even the software development, most of the projects are following Agile methodology. So that has been incorporated into our SAP methodology now, which is Activate. Okay, so what exactly is SAP Activate methodology? What are the phases? How it is different than the SAP? All these things we'll discuss in the SAP Activate methodology topic. Once we understood these basics, so at least we need first 3 or 4 sessions to talk about all these things. But once we are done, we'll be starting off with the practical thing. So I'll be showing you the SAP S/4HANA system, how exactly it looks like, how it is different than the traditional ECC system, and the overview to SAP Fiori. So I'll be showing you some of the SAP Fiori screens, how they look like, how you can do the transactions, how you can customize your own home page. All these things we'll see in the overview to SAP Fiori session. Then we'll start with the configuration. So as you know, whenever you want to learn any functionality, whenever you want to perform anything into the system, the thing to start is the enterprise structure. So we'll create an enterprise structure which consists of the company code, purchase org, sales org, and that enterprise structure we'll be using throughout the course. So whatever functionality we'll be understanding, we'll take that purchase organization which we created at this stage. Then we'll talk about the changes in the master data, like what has been changed from the master data of material and there is a big change in the way how the customers and vendors are going to be created. So earlier, customers and vendors are created using XT01 or XK01 screen, which is no more available, and you need to create your customers and vendors as the business partners mandatorily. So till now in ECC also there was the option that you can create the customers and vendors as business partners, but normally we were not using this functionality, or maybe very few customers were using this functionality. But now in SAP S4, creation of customer and vendor has to be done only through business partner. There is no other option. So how to do that? What are the configurations required? What are the different tables? All that things we'll discuss in the master data section. Then we'll dive into SAP MM. We'll understand what has been changed from MM point of view, like material ledger, simplified pricing, simplified data model, new output determination, and some of the Fiori apps to help you understand how are you going to perform the transactions. Okay, so these are some of the things which are simplified in SAP S4. So all these things we are going to see practical. There are some topics which we'll see theoretical. The reason is they come out of your normal SAP S4 core system, because like for example the foreign trade management that we were using till now, this is no more available in the core SAP system. And you must be knowing that there is a separate external service called as Global Trade Services, GTS, SAP GTS, which is now mandatory if you want to perform the foreign trade regulations. So how exactly has that been changed? What are the options? We'll talk about in the this foreign trade management and SRM session. Again, SRM, as we know, it is a completely different application which is not directly available on the core system. So what are the future plans for SRM? Like what exactly are the simplifications going to come in SRM? That is something which we'll talk during this session. So we'll take around 5 to 6 sessions to understand the impact on materials management of SAP S/4HANA, and then we'll start off with the sales and distribution. Again, we'll take 5-6 sessions on ST point of view to understand the changes. So the changes are like simplified data model, same thing, like what are the table level changes. Simplified pricing, there is a change in the pricing determination. There is a change in the output determination. Credit management functionality which we were using has been completely changed. So what are the configurations, what are the master data changes, transactions, reports, everything has been changed. So we'll be talking about this credit management in detail. And there is a change in the rebate processing also. So the way in which the rebate processing is handled in ECC, that has been changed. Again, what are the configuration, master data and all that we'll discuss in this practical session. Then the changes in revenue recognition, foreign trade and CRM, this will be again theoretical. The reason is, as I told you, foreign trade and CRM, these are the external services. Even the revenue recognition is now available as an external service which is not available on the common core system. So that is the reason we'll understand what has been changed and how to cope up with that requirement. Then we'll come to very important topic called as MRP live. So the way in which you execute the MRP as of today, there is a change now, and SAP has came up with a completely redesigned MRP process which will save a lot of time in terms of processing the MRP. Okay, so what exactly is MRP live, how it is different than the normal MRP, is there any configuration required, what are the scenarios supported, which are the scenarios which are not supported, how to handle all of them, that we'll discuss in the MRP live session. And once we are done with MRP live and all these things, as we can see, all these things we are going to start from scratch, like we are going to configure everything from scratch in the system. It is treated as a new implementation, right? Normally in the new implementation only you start everything from scratch. But when you go into the market, there are two kind of projects that you'll be getting. One is the new implementations and second is the conversion projects. Conversion means what? Conversion means customer is already using SAP ECC system and now he wants to migrate to SAP S/4HANA. These are called as the conversion projects, where you are not starting everything from scratch, you are upgrading your current ECC system to SAP S4. So we need to understand that also, and that is the reason if you see last topics, they are related to conversion. So what is the conversion process? What are the different phases in the conversion process? And the tools. What are the different tools available from SAP which are going to help us in performing the conversion? Okay, then we have uh, one of the activity converting the existing customers and vendors into business partners. So as I told you, the customers and vendors, as they were available in ECC, they are not available in SAP S4. So before moving to SAP S4, you need to convert all your customers and vendors into business partners. We need to understand how to do that. Okay, what are the tools available for converting our customers and vendors into business partners? The conversion cockpit, again, SAP has provided a cockpit which can be used to perform the conversion. How to use that cockpit, what are the relevant activities, that we'll discuss in the conversion cockpit section. And finally, we will discuss about the overview to SAP Simple Finance, which will help you to understand. After understanding what has been changed from logistics point of view, you will be also able to get some info on what are the changes in finance. At the same time, what are the integrated changes, like how the integration between FI and MM has been changed, and how the integration between SD and FI has been changed. So this is something which we are going to talk about in our upcoming sessions, and the total duration, if I talk about, it is going to be around 30 to 35 hours. Okay, to complete all these sessions, we need at least 30 to 35 sessions. And regarding the times and all, you can coordinate with Sahir and he'll be able to provide you the complete information of when exactly we are starting and what will be the batch timings. Okay, apart from this, anything else that you want to know, that you want to clarify? Now I am done with my presentation, so you can just proceed and ask your questions.
Gaurav, this is Sunil here.
Yes, Sunil.
You know, there seems to be a lot of things to cover in this. Do you think you will be able to cover in 30 to 35 hours?
Sorry, Sunil, can you just come back? There
are a lot of things that had changed, so it requires a lot of you know, time and effort from your side as well as from our side. So do you think it will be able to do it in 30 to 35 hours?
Yes, yes. See, yes, Sunil. So this is according to my experience. I have conducted more than 15 batches till now, and according to my experience, 30 to 35 hours are more than sufficient. At the same time, I'm not restricting myself. So let's say, for example, when we are discussing and when you want me to give more explanation on a particular topic, and even if we go further to 35 hours, that is perfectly fine. But this is, I'm just giving you the timelines because this is what I think is the approximate time according to the batches I've conducted in the past.
Okay. So will there be any assignments for us to complete?
Assignments in the terms of, yes, whenever we are discussing something, I'm obviously expecting all of you to do the same thing in the server and come up with your doubts. So what we'll do is, let's say for example, if I skip this theoretical sessions, whenever we are starting off with this enterprise structure, master data, so I'm expecting all of you to create at least 3-4 company codes, 3-4 purchase orgs, and whatever activities we are doing, that activities you also need to do. At the same time, as I told you, we are going to see the delta part. Like for example, in MM, there are a lot of other things, right? Why you are not discussing that? The reason is they are unimpacted, and there is no point in discussing the things which are available as it is, right?
Okay.
But what I am expecting from you is not that I told there is no change, then there is no change. You should go, you should try on your own. Like for example, let's say releasing strategy. So although that is not something which we are discussing because this is not changed, but you need to check in SAP S/4HANA whether it is working in the same way or you are finding any difference. Obviously you will not find, but it will make you comfortable. Yes, whatever the things are available as it is, that is also something which is working perfectly fine in SAP S4. So what I'm expecting is, I'm expecting around 3 to 4 company codes, 3 to 4 enterprise structure, and you should run all your processes, whatever you think you have worked on, to make sure that everything is working as it is, apart from the things that we are discussing, which will make
Right.
you more comfortable to take any new opportunity in the market.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So here is a time constraint that I'm having, because I work full time and evening I take this course. So I may not have time to work on any of the assignments before I meet next evening, because the next morning I'll have 10 hours of work. So that's my concern, but I will talk to Jahir on that. Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it for your presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, Gaurav, this is Sridhar here.
Yes.
Yeah. So the total course is 35 hours, you said, but the practical, like, you do the exercises after the classes are done. How long that will be like? Is it 2 to 3 months of time with the certification and all that?
Not 2 to 3 months. I think, again, according to my experience, normally we complete the course in around 45 to 55 days, approximate to 2 hours, we can say. Because see, whatever practicing you are saying, that you will be getting the complete, like let's say for example, if you are going for weekends, so you'll be getting the complete week to perform that practice, right? And whenever we are meeting next time, for example, let's say I've taken the session on Saturday and Sunday, and then you got the complete week, and on Saturday you can come back and say, yes, I have worked on this, so this is something which I'm getting the error, or something like I want more explanation. We can discuss on that. But the practical thing, whatever you are going to do, the sorry, not practical, the practice thing that you are going to do, that you are going to do on your own, and then you need to come up with your questions. So practical, definitely 35 hours is what I am going to discuss. Apart from that 35 hours, you also need to give some time to make sure that you are understanding the concepts by doing the things rather than just understanding how it is done.
Okay, I got that, Gaurav. The other question is, from your 12 batches or 15 batches, whatever you've done, how is the market for this logistics once you out with your resume? Is it like they have a lot of demand right now? Is it, or is it something like ECC ECC thing you need to wait on for more time? What your experience on the placements?
Yes, see, again, just to clarify, there is one doubt in the market. So when you are going through this course, SAP S for HANA Logistics, and as we discussed, we are going to cover the 3 core business processes, that is materials management, sales and distribution, and manufacturing. Now, let's say for example, you are a SD consultant. Okay, normally there is no role which you will get in the market called as SAP S for HANA Logistics Consultant. I'll tell you what exactly is the kind of role that you will be getting. You will be, let's say for example, if you are, simple example, if you are going for, let's say, SD interview, sales, and if you are from SD background, you are going for the sales and distribution interview. Now, if there are 10 guys and all of, again, what I'm saying, just try to understand and then I'll come back. So if there are 10 guys, all are good in SAP SD, but on top of that, if you tell the company that I also know what has been changed from SAP S/4HANA point of view, then definitely that is a big asset to the company, because going forward, maybe after 6 months or 8 months, every company is going to look for the consultants who are SAP SD plus SAP S/4HANA experience, SAP MM plus SAP S/4HANA, SAP PP plus SAP S/4HANA. Why? Because most of the projects in coming years or in coming months are going to be on SAP S/4HANA only. This is something which I am saying you, if the company is not specifically looking for SAP S/4HANA. But there are also many jobs available as of today which are clearly specifying that we are looking for the consultants of SAP MM with SAP S/4HANA experience or exposure. Definitely not experience, because the experience, if you talk about it, is a very new product. There are not much consultants who have this experience. So if you at least have the exposure, there are a lot of companies which are directly asking that we want some person who has worked on MM and has the knowledge or exposure on SAP S/4HANA. So that kind of market is there already there. If you go for some of the job sites, you will find if you just write SAP S/4HANA, there are a lot of companies who are looking such kind of candidates, not only in India, outside also.
So is this something like a full-time, or they do have a lot of contracting opportunities?
Both are available. See, normally it again depends upon the country, because in many countries, even if you work on SAP MMSD, most of the opportunities which are provided to us, they are contract. So same thing is available here also, in terms of it depends upon the country where you are going. Some of the countries will hire you on the permanent role, and some of the countries are contract. So but both the options are still available on SAP S4 also.
So you are saying from 12 batches or 15 batches, whatever you've done, so many are able to, you are able to, like, they are able to get their jobs on these, right? On S4 HANA.
Yes, yes, many of them, yes.
Okay. Because I'm from the, basically I'm from the finance and controlling, I'm from the FICO. So how that will be helpful for this training for me?
See, if you are from FICO, you will be more suited for SAP S/4HANA Finance than logistics.
Yeah.
Because finance also there are a lot of changes in the finance also. So Simple Finance or SAP S/4HANA 1605, these are some of the things which will interest, in terms of interest also you will be getting more interest in that because you have that background.
Yes, yeah, okay. So you are saying that, so I can, yeah, so you are saying that the Simple Finance will be the better one than the logistic, you are saying, right? Yeah.
Before, yes, if you are interested in logistics, perfectly fine, but it is always good that you first improvise your core skills, and then if you have time to go for additional skills, right? So if you already have experience into SAP FICO, and SAP has came up with a completely new version of Simple Finance and S/4HANA Finance, so it is obviously good to go for that first, and then if you are more interested, then you can switch over to logistics. That is exactly what I have also done. So I am also certified Simple Finance consultant when SAP launched 1503, and now I'm into SAP S/4HANA Logistics. So that is something, if you are getting the time over and above, you can look out for other opportunities. But first of all, you should try on your core functionalities that you worked on.
Okay, I got that. Okay, yeah. So your team also provide that training?
Yes, we do. So you need to discuss with Zahir, because currently
Zahir, okay, I'll speak to him. I'll speak to him on that. Yeah.
Yes.
Gaurav, small correction in position titles, as you said. So in US market, nowadays we are not seeing SAP SD or MM. So it is order to cash or procure to pay. If SD consultant doesn't know anything about AR, then that guy may not fit for S4 HANA position.
Sorry, can you just come back?
Now in US market, so clients are using the process streams instead of the modules, like order to cash or procure to pay. Say SD consultant. So normally in Indian market, SD consultant most of the do order management or billing or shipping and transportation, because nobody knows about AR. Okay, but if we come to US market, then SD consultant should know about AR process or should have hands-on. So then only that guy may survive to get an opportunity in S4HANA in order to cash.
So that is the integration you are talking about. Let's say,
Not
see, even in
integration.
India,
No, not integration perspective.
see,
Here,
AR,
whoever is working on SD part, the same guy, the expectation from the clients is the same guy should know or should have hands-on on AR also.
perfectly fine. But see, this expectation is also, I think this expectation should be everywhere, because otherwise what happens is, if you are talking about AR, I got your point, but how the AR will work? AR will work only with the integration with SD, right?
Yeah,
so if you
that's right.
know the integration, yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. So only the thing, yeah, as you said, yes, in terms of the naming, like normally we use SAP SD in India, in which, as you said, most of the companies expect that you should be having the good amount of exposure in terms of your sales and distribution skills, rather than integration is something which is always like it is not given much importance, I'll definitely say, compared to the other countries. But you are right, in US and other countries they give more importance to that also, because they want someone to work on the complete cycle rather than just restricting yourself to sales point of view. You need to understand the complete order to cash cycle, and that are the kind of roles which you normally get outside. You're right.
Yeah.
So procure to pay, order to cash, these are some things which are in more demand outside.
Gaurav, my name is Virender here. Actually, just I have a couple of questions related to the core part of it. You said in S4 HANA logistics, simple logistics, you said a MM, SD, and PP is there, right? How about like other modules like a PM and all, which are coming in the future versions of the releases, or like how those parts working? Like for example, PM, plant maintenance, QM, just for example.
Got your point. Yeah. See, when I'm saying that in SAP S4 HANA as of today, MM, SD, and PP are simplified, I'm not saying these are the only modules available. I'm saying they are simplified. Simplified means there are some new scenarios in terms of the simplification, like the way in which you do the transactions, they are simplified. Why I'm not saying PM, PS? Because it doesn't mean that they are not available. They are still available, but without any simplifications. They will be used as they were used earlier.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And one more question. I have a couple of questions so before somebody jumped in. Now, when you say simplified, for example, if you take a procurement process, like, you know, any purchasing process, like, you know, so what do you mean by simplification? Now you can create a purchase order with the item category or whatever it is, and or account assignment or like a stock item. What is the simplification versus the, you know, traditional ECC or, you know, 6 or 6.5 or whatever the previous versions?
Okay. See, simplification in terms of two things. Simplifications, I'll give you an example. So you create a purchase order today. Okay. You create a purchase order today, what happens? In the background, there are multiple tables which are getting updated. At the same time, the screen that you are using to create a purchase order is not very user friendly because you are using the screen from ES. So if we talk from these 2 points, first is simplifications in the terms of how the data will be stored in the table. Okay, so for example, earlier, this is again the example. It is not necessary that in every of the business scenario there will be simplification. So let's say, for example, you created a purchase order. Now, earlier, let's say there were 10 tables which are getting updated, which were taking, let's say, 10 seconds to perform a transaction. Now, if that tables are coming down to 6 tables, so ultimately it will reduce 4 seconds of your time, again for example purpose. So what you are doing, you are saving the time in doing the transaction, first thing. Second thing, not only tables, you are also getting the new screen, which is easy to use. For your end user, it will be very easy to learn SAP who are coming to SAP for the first time. So this is again the simplification from the user interface point of view. So again, the time required to enter the transaction in the purchase order, when you enter the information that this is a vendor, this is a thing. So earlier you need to move into different tabs which can take you more time. Now, when you have the new Fiori screen, which is simpler to use, you will be ending up in doing the transactions again in the lesser time. So these are the simplifications. These are the simplifications in terms of simplifying your transaction. The same transaction is simplified. But there are simplifications in the processes also. So for example, today, if I am, let's say, take an example of credit management. Today, if I am doing a transaction in credit management, I have 2 options in ECC. I can use the traditional credit management, which is SD AR credit management, and I can also use the newly available functionality which is available from last 15 years, that is FSCM credit management. So some of the customers are using traditional one, some of the customers are using new one. Now new one has lot of other benefits, okay, apart from the traditional functionality that we had. But the problem is SAP needs to maintain both these tables separately. So if the customer wants to use this, these tables will be updated, and customer don't want to use this, these table will be updated, which creates the confusion in the system. For you also as a consultant, like whether I should go for FSCM tables or should I go for credit management tables. The question is why the different ways of using the same functionality? Why not having one functionality which is common in case of the processes? So that is the reason what SAP has done. Wherever they found that today if I want to use a particular functionality, if I had two different options, let's remove the option which has lesser number of functionalities and keep only the option which provides you more features. There are a lot of places like this where SAP has removed the traditional functionality, like the old credit management is one of that. The material ledger we discussed here, material ledger is now mandatory. Earlier this was not mandatory. Why it is mandatory now? Because again, earlier it was an option. Either you use material ledger or you don't use material ledger. If you are using, there are separate 10 tables for material ledger. If you are not using, there are again separate 10 tables without material ledger. So SAP needs to maintain both the tables in parallel. Now, forget about that, material ledger is mandatory, so there is no need of the old tables at all, which is again simplified in terms of how the data will be stored. There will be one common set of data which will be stored in one common set of tables. So that is simplification. So simplification is coming from the simplification in processes, simplifications in data architecture, and simplification in the screen. These are the three core areas where the simplification is coming from.
Okay, so now one more question, like here, see, from the functional person, right? I'm working towards like, functionality of like SAP. If you take like SD, MM or like PP, now, when I deal with the business, I do deal with the like, more of a business processes, right? So now dealing backend is more of a like, it's more of a reporting point of view. For example, if a developer is working on any reporting, he will be responsible to do that. Why do I need to worry about? I understand I need to worry, but like technically I'm talking about, like I'm not talking about the business point of view. Technically, I need not to really worry about what is the enhancement. I mean, I can find an enhancement or a user exit or whatever the thing, and I can tell him, okay, this is what it is, and then he can build a functionality. Now my question on top of it is, as a functional person, really do I need to worry about why and how it is getting stored?
Not really, okay, but definitely it is an advantage, but that is not the only thing that we are discussing. You are correct from your point. So if I am a functional consultant and when we are saying that there are table level changes, there are Fiori related changes, then what is coming to us? See, we need to come out of configuration now. See, we are all, I think many of us are working with SAP from last 8-10 years, I think. Okay, so we need to now come, I think already you must be working on the client, this one's, sorry, just a minute. You must be working on the client engagements where you are going for the presentation to the client, what exactly the SAP is going to provide you. So when you are doing this, okay, it is not only your responsibility to do the configuration. Configuration is something which you can get it from the documentations also. But when you are in front of the customer, you need to understand what things have been changed. Okay, so for example, when you understand the activate methodology, forget about everything else, the SAP activate methodology. This is not a technical thing. This is a thing, how are you going to handle the project going forward, right? How that has been changed. Okay, so in this activate methodology, there is one very important thing that you need to provide the workshops to the customer. That means you need to show the system to the customer on day one itself. Okay, now when you're showing the system to the client on the day one, before that you need to make sure that all your processes are ready. So for example, as I talked about these processes like material ledger activation, simplification in the pricing, data model, again, as I told you, this is something which you just need to know. You don't need to do anything. This is by default from the system. The new output determination. how the new output will be determined. Again, there is a configuration involved and all those things. The Fiori apps, what are the available Fiori apps which we will be using? Okay, and then what has been changed from foreign trade management? Like if the customer is saying you, I use foreign trade management, but if you are not aware that these things are not available in SAP S/4HANA, how will you convince your customer to go with foreign trade and go for GTS? So you are understanding the complete, I'll say consulting instead of only configuration. You are understanding what has been changed from the complete package point of view, which will help you to make your customer understand what exactly is available in SAP S/4. It is combination of both. It is combination of both.
I understand that, but that is more of a, like, you know, before implementation of any application, right? So because I'm a consultant, I started my project or like, you know, started, you know, building a functionality of certain area, for example, MM, right? So I'm focused on that part, but why do I, see, because I'm not selling the product to the customer or anything. I'm just at the customer place and, you know, I'm a consultant working on the functionality to be built. Right? So that is two different areas, isn't it?
Yeah, Gaurav, so his question is, maybe it depends on the role, what he is performing.
Exactly.
Say, for example, if you are a pre-sales lead, a pre-sales consultant.
Yeah, we don't want to go into the pre-sales or anything, right? So we are just
then no need to understand about this table structures which are being changed in S/4HANA. Okay, but if you are presenting as a functional consultant.
Mr. Charya, are you like the SAP H4 HANA consultant?
Me? Not
Yes.
yet. I'm looking for S/4HANA opportunity.
Yeah, could Gaurav explain the things, right? So
okay, go ahead.
That would be better idea. Sure.
But I know the process. I know the roles which will be working on S/4HANA. So that's why I'm trying to explain a little bit.
Okay. See, Virender, the thing is right. It is based on the role. Again, after doing all of these things, let me tell you a very simple thing. For example, if you are working from already 6 to 8 or 10 years into SAP, okay, we don't want another kind of role where we are stuck with the configuration. Configuration is only one part. Consulting is more than that. Okay, so what we need to understand is what has been changed from SAP S/4HANA point of view. And I'll tell you, most of the time when you go for SAP S/4HANA as of today or over next 2-3 years, you are always going to be like a pre-sales because you will be dealing with the customers. Even if you are working on the same company, let's say for example in your own company who is planning to go for SAP S/4HANA, they will not start on day one. You need to understand what has been changed, what will be the impact on your current business processes, which current business processes will be impacted, and what are the solutions available from SAP, what are the conversion cockpits available, what are the conversion tools available, what will be the impact on your custom objects, what will be the impact on your standard configurations. All these things is something consulting. So that is something which you are understanding here. I definitely agree with you. If you only looking for the configuration, then this is not for you. This is configuration you can do anywhere. You can download the document and do the configuration, but that is the only, I think, 10% of what even if I talk about ECC also, configuration is something which if you ask your junior consultant to do, that will do. But you need to understand, you need to concentrate on the skills in presenting what is available in SAP in terms of the solutioning to the customer. So solutioning part is something which is more important rather than the configuration.
I understand that part. Like the last question, I'm not going to take more time because I already took it. Like one more last 30 minutes question. I do understand from the, you know, selling the product versus like, you know, working on the product. Now, because my past, whatever the 10, more than 15 years of experience on towards like SAP and different logistics area, most of the time I was working with like a business and, you know, working on the like a configuration part or like, you know, whatever it is. But like, you know, it's not the thing that like you know, I got an opportunity to go and sell a product and, you know, explain about the product. So that's where I'm coming from. And my friends and whoever working on SAP side, nobody is going and selling a product. Everybody's selling their skills to, you know, implement or like, you know, support or like enhance or like whatever that part of area. That's the reason I'm working as a like a consultant where I am. I'm not looking for the selling the H4HANA product to the customer, for example, in a Best Buy or like in a Walmart or, any big giants. And just my question is just straightforward.
Okay. Yes, Sunil, you want to add something?
Yeah, I ask him to make it fast, because this is basically, you as a solution architect, you are supposed to be learning this process, learning this new
Exactly,
S4HANA.
exactly. I'm coming to it, Sunil. Same thing. Yeah. Yes. So, Virender, again the same thing. The thing is, although you are coming from that background, but that is a big advantage for you. I'll tell you that is a big advantage. But what is going to happen over next 2-3 years, that is where we are concentrating. See, over next 2-3 years, it will take time. See, this is a new product, and whatever projects we are getting now, okay, they are not directly conversion. And if I talk about the conversion, if I talk about a new implementation, it takes years, or it takes at least 6 to 8 months to complete that project. But till that time, what? You are more focused on the solutioning part. You are more focused on the consulting part. I'm not telling you to sell the product. Let's say, is already sold. Wherever you are working today, your company has decided to go for SAP S4HANA. So you're not selling. They already know what are the benefits, but you are trying to explain them which processes will be impacted, so they can take the informed decision whether to go it for or not. Right? That is something which is a solutioning part. So that is something which, as of now, if you see in the market, they are looking for the solution architects. They are looking for these type of consultants. But configuration, if you are only looking from the configuration point of view, I'll tell you, this is not going to change more than 20% of your current business processes. All the configurations, 80% of the configurations will remain same. But you need to understand what are the options, what is the on-premise, what is on cloud, how they are going to be changed. All these things we are going to discuss here.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you very much, Gaurav.
Yeah, Gaurav, this is Sridhar here. So you're saying that whatever in the S4 we have today is the existing functionality of all the transactions or whatever we do today in the processes or anything from ECC, it's all in place in HANA, in S4 HANA?
Yes, whatever things are not mentioned here. See, for example, why I'm not talking about releasing strategy, why I'm not talking about the indirect material procurement. I'm not talking because these processes are same. Only the processes which are changed that I have highlighted here. So there is a change in the way how the pricing will be handled. There is a change in the way how the output will be determined. There is a change in the way how the credit management will be handled, how the SD rebate processing will be handled. So these are the delta things, while the other things are as it is.
So what you can perform the other things in ECC, you can perform the same thing in S4 HANA, right?
Yes, other things,
other than the delta
yes.
functionality I'm talking about, other than the delta functionality. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's not something, see what I was looking is it's not something like S4 HANA has the extended capability of doing some functionality which is which doesn't the ECC doesn't have it, or I think the better way of saying is the ECC whatever it has today, okay, it's more like the more functionality in the S4 HANA, but the existing functionality is been retired or something like that, you know.
It is redesigned to make it simple. The slogan, if you see SAP S4 HANA, what they are trying to do is they are clearly saying that when you talk about SAP S4 HANA, your core business processes will remain unimpacted because they are working fine even in ECC also. We know it is a very integrated process. Most of the processes are in place. But the thing is, the way in which we do it, that we need to simplify. That is simplified. The way in which you do the transaction, the way in which it gets stored in the tables, the way in which it retrieves from the tables, we want to make all these processes faster so that we should minimize the time required to do the transactions, and we should get more and more reports in real time from the system. So most of the processes will remain same. The way in which they will be handled, that has something changed.
Yeah, it's like yeah, maybe yeah, from the procure to pay cycle, you know, from the purchase order till you know, whatever the finance, it comes onto the finance, you know. It takes care of the complete the similar way, like how the ECC is taking care of the similar thing they do in here in S4HANA. Everything will be the same.
Yes, most of the things which are not mentioned in this slide, they are going to be same.
Okay.
Hi, Gaurav.
And there is the transport management. All those things are involved here, or nothing like that. Is like how in ECC we do the transports and everything is the same thing in HANA?
It is same thing. Yes, it is same thing.
Okay.
Hi,
I have one question.
Andy here. My question is regarding S4HANA. Is this just replacement of ECC or the whole SAP Business Suite, including SRM or CRM?
No, currently it is just a replacement of ECC. Going forward, the plan is to bring CRM, SRM, APO, EWM, all these functionalities inbuilt in one single common system, but that will take time. So as of today, it is a replacement to ECC.
Okay, so like in present scenario, if we talk about a conversion project to S4HANA, that means we are converting data from ECC to S4HANA. We are not touching CRM, SRM or other places or the other systems, right?
Yes, as of today, whatever connections we had to CRM, SRM, they will remain same. But going forward, maybe in 1710 or 1810, what we are going to get is even the CRM and SRM, whatever functionalities you were doing in the external service, they will be available in your core system, and you will be getting all these real-time insights in a common system.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Gaurav, I have one last question.
Yes.
In the demo title, so you mentioned that S4HANA 1610 logistics. Okay. So the 1610, the major key capabilities like advanced ATP and the embedded EWM. Are you going to cover those two areas also, because you did not list it here?
See, normally I cover the core business processes in terms of the SD, MM and PP, but when you talk about the advanced ATP and even the EWM, these are only available as a very basic when we talk about 1610. There are a lot of things which are expected in future. So EWM, as of today, if you see, very few functionalities. In 1511, nothing was available from EWM point of view. EWM was a completely separate service as it is today. But from 1610 point of view, they brought some EWM functionalities inbuilt in the system. So if you have the background, normally the consultants that we have here, they are mainly from MM, SD and PP. So normally ask this question. If you are interested, we can take that as a overview of what exactly EWM has to offer in SAP S4. If you are interested, we can take that topic. That is not a problem.
Okay. No, just I'm asking because you did not list those two areas.
Yeah, normally.
And EWM.
Yeah, normally I don't list it here because this is something which should be interested to each and everybody. So I think when you talk about EWM, I don't think many of you are interested because the functionality is not changed. It is only thing is some of the things are directly available on the server. So we'll see that what exactly is available. That is only on 1610. It was not available on 1511.
What about our advanced ATP?
Yes, that is also something which we'll discuss.
Okay.
Gaurav.
Yes.
Hi, so finally we are going to start this fast track course, right? From Monday to Friday. So if we check with them whether they are going to be ready.
Yes, they can comment. So we are going to start this. When are you going to start, Zahir? So can you just confirm them so that we can.
Coming weekend, coming Monday, from Monday. Okay. Monday to Friday, that will be tell you 1 hour at the same time. So please check with them.
Okay, so we are going to start this batch from next Monday, coming Monday, and this will be at our normal timings that we started today. Same timings will be starting time, and we can have the session of 1 or maximum 1.5 hours because this is going to be the daily session. Okay, so you can just comment if you are okay with these timings or whatever it is, you can just, we can plan accordingly.
So all the materials and everything will be provided, right? All the things for this and the certification.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
the
Zaid, can
certification is
you just
from.
comment on the? Yeah.
Yes.
Zaid will tell
Yeah.
you what exactly.
Yeah. So we are going to provide you around 30 to 35 hours online training. Okay, we'll provide you the certification document of Simple Logistic 1610, and then we'll provide you the 30 to 35 hours recorded videos, whatever that we have completed, and this Gaurav will provide you the standard PPT documents which you have prepared, okay? And will give this means we will provide you the course completion certificate. Okay, and there will be the small mock interview after completion of course, whatever the questions and all this thing.
How long the access will be provided
Yeah, it will be for
for
2
the
months.
system?
2 months that will be on latest server as per Hana symbol 1610.
So if you wanted to extend it, is there a possibility?
Yeah, you can pay additional cost. Okay, that
Okay.
will be a $50 per month.
Okay.
It's
Right.
only for students who are into our batch. For other, it
Okay.
will be a different charges.
Right. Thank you.
And total cost is $750. Okay, you can. So please let me know. I'm just going to type here the SKYPE ID, this enrollment link. You can do if you want to do to try it away. You can do the enrollment. Okay, and you can discuss more if you have any more questions. So I have just mentioned here the link. Okay, this is direct go redirect to direct this enrollment. Okay, you can do the enrollment through this link. Once you'll do the enrollment, you'll get all the materials, and we'll start from Monday. It will be the same time. So how many guys are interested for this course? For registrations. Virender,
Hi. Yes, I'm pretty interested, but there are two things. Like, is the course is also in the weekends or only the week
it will be
days?
in weekdays, Monday to Friday at same 9:30 p.m. as per Eastern time.
Okay.
So what is your convenient time? Please let me know.
Yeah, I mean, weekdays is okay, but like sometimes if you block
Yeah.
like.
Actually, we had a plan to weekend, but most of the guys already busy with the project, so we have just started fast track course.
Okay, I'll talk to you on offline,
Okay.
separately on this.
Okay. Do you have my contact number?
I think I have your email ID, I
Yeah.
guess. Could you type your contact number in
Yeah.
this link?
I'm just typing here. Those who
Okay.
want to register, please call me.
Okay, I got it.
Otherwise, you can directly visit to our website and do the.
Zahir, you're in US or you're in India?
I'm in India. This is the link for enrollment. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, one question for me. On the warehouse management, are there any topics that we are going to cover SAP WM?
SAP?
SAP WM, warehouse management.
WM. I don't think.
Ravi,
Yeah.
yeah, let me answer. Ravi, WM is going to be discarded going forward. It is only going to be EWM, and as I told you, EWM is planned to be embedded in future. So already basic functionalities of EWM, very basic functionalities I'll say, they are available in 1610. WM as of today, it is available as it is without any change. So there is no point in talking about that because all the things which are available in ECC, they are available as of today. And going forward, as I told you, it is going to be completely discarded and EWM is the only solution which will be supported in future.
Okay, right. So the ECC, whatever the WM we have in the ECC that is there, it's 1610. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, yes. As of today, whatever functionalities you have in WM in ECC, they are same available in SAP S4 also. But going forward, this WM will be completely discarded and it will be completely replaced with EWM solution.
Okay, got it. And also you said, I mean, there are some functionality from EWM, it's already there in 1610.
Yes, that we are going to talk about.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, Ravi, do you like to enroll right now or do you have any more questions?
No, not right now. No. I'll be in touch with you on the registration part.
Okay, okay. Do you have my contact number?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, Rodrigo, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, Rodrigo. How are you?
How? I'm good, fine, thanks. Yes, I was thinking about to start this batch in the next week. Just needed to check my cash at the moment, but are you keep in touch with you this week to try to close this course and we start next week? No problem.
Next week, yeah, from Monday to Friday, and it will be the same time that which you have joined right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the time sounds good. Time sounds good for me also. Very, very good time.
Okay, I have your contact number. Yeah. Okay, I will contact you. Otherwise, I will mail you about all these things. Okay.
Definitely.
So please let me know about your interest to enroll. Okay, so I can share with you all this detail.
All right.
What about Sridhar?
Yeah, I'm actually from the finance, so I was just thinking, yeah, this will be definitely the way the Gaurav was explaining will be very helpful for me to get into the details of everything. But I'm just thinking whether the simple finance will be a real good one for me initially, and then come on to the integration perspective.
Mm-hmm. If you are from finance, so you have to go with finance, right? Simple finance. Otherwise, you will be confused. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have anything SD, PP, MM, any logistic model, you have any experience, then you can go with this logistic.
But my question is, if the simple finance is like very much matured in the market right now, and there are many job opportunities over there, I'm looking for the new job there in that area. If something it is not that matured product, and the logistics is a matured product right now, maybe I can switch over to the completely to the logistics as a solution architect or something like that. But I need to look into the details of those, and I'll come back on that. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know from the marketing perspective, Gaurav, which one is real? Is like opportunities wise? I'm more interested in the opportunity than get. I know that I need to get into the details, but I'm still asking. Yeah.
See, opportunities are available in both. If you both are equally good in terms of opportunities, but I will strongly prefer for you to go for simple finance, because as I told you, it all depends upon your previous background. So it is not like you will be understanding this. Let's say, for example, if you know the deltas of SD, MM and PP, and if you don't know the basic core processes of SD, MM and PP, then definitely it is not going to help you. right? So at least you need to be good in one particular area. When you are already good in FICO, there is no point in switching the career, because in S4HANA Finance also there are a lot of good opportunities which are available. So
no, we already like from the integration perspective when it comes to the product costing. Okay, so we look into from the like that from the manufacturing till the MRP price, MRP, like the costing and everything we do